Let's talk some chess. We've got a game from one of the greatest attackers of all time, none other than Mikhail Tal. He's playing with the white pieces against someone who is anonymous in the database, so you know it's about to be a beatdown for Tal. This game took place in 1963, and Tal kicked us off with e4. We have c5, the Sicilian defense. Tal puts his knight on f3. Black plays d6, and we have d4 from Tal trying to control the center. Black takes on d4, Tal takes back with the knight, and we have knight to f6. Tal develops his other knight to c3, and now we have a6. So this is the Najdorf variation of the Sicilian, very common line. These are book moves to this day for both players with the black and white pieces. So nothing crazy here so far. Tal develops the bishop to g5, obviously comes with an attack on the knight, and black, this looks like a strange move, but it still is a book move. Black plays e6, so you're creating a pin with your knight to the queen, but this is very easy to block with the bishop or even moving the queen out of the way, so this is still a good move for black. Tal here plays f4, so we know Tal is very aggressive. He likes to attack, he likes to push pieces, and he's not so worried that his king is in the center of the board. Instead, he's trying to, instead he's trying to just crush his opponent, move the pawns in, and get his pieces active and create a mating attack against the enemy king. And here black makes the sort of first mistake of the game. Black plays b5, and here black sort of needed to play h6 just to sort of kick this bishop away from this important diagonal, so Tal would probably retreat the bishop, although we never know because it was Tal, but Tal would probably retreat the bishop to h4, and then something like queen to b6, threatening the weak b2 pawn. This is an okay position for black. So that would have been the better move, to kick the bishop away and then sort of move the queen, but instead black plays this b5 move, which doesn't really achieve much. Maybe there's ideas of fianchettoing the bishop, but it's a little bit too slow for Tal because Tal is about to push in the center with e5. And now you have a pawn attacking a knight, and the knight is pinned, so this is going to be a problem. Black takes back on e5, but then Tal takes back on e5 as well, and now you can see that this is all sorts of trouble if you're playing with the black pieces. So it's not as dire as it looks, because you do have this queen to c7 move, and here you can't necessarily take with the pawn, because if you do, if pawn takes knight on f6, you just get this queen to e5 check, and now you're forking the king and the bishop. Whatever you do, you're about to lose the bishop with the white pieces. So the point is black is not giving up a piece with this move. You can always win it back with this queen fork of the king and the bishop. And Tal obviously realizes that, and instead of taking the knight, he develops his queen to e2, and now this queen takes on e5 with check is no longer possible, so black does actually have to move the knight because it is under threat of being captured by the pawn. And this also comes with a double attack on the e5 pawn with both the queen and the knight. So interesting position. Tal has two extra pieces developed. He has this advanced pawn on e5, and this is where he starts to make one of his just crazy Tal attacks and sets it into motion. So see if you can take a second and figure out the move that Tal plays in this position. Okay, so Tal here said, I have too many pieces, I haven't sacrificed anything yet, I'm going to play, I just built that up completely wrong. I wrote down the wrong move. First he castles and gets his king to safety. Sorry about that. Castles queenside, gets his king to safety. Black fianchettos the bishop, like was the plan all along with this b5 move. And now Tal does what I said he was going to do. He captures on e6 with the knight. And this is sort of unnecessary. The engine doesn't recommend it, but it doesn't hate this move either. And the idea is there's a clear threat. You're threatening, you're forking the queen and the bishop, so you pretty much have to take here with the pawn, which black does, takes with the pawn on e6. But now you're in trouble because you've got the rook eyeing this open d file, you have the bishop lasering this way, you have the queen ready to jump sort of into the attack, the knight can even come to the attack, and there's nothing defending this e6 pawn, which is sort of the gateway to black's defenses. So this is a really tricky position to defend. And here Tal jumps into it with queen to g4, just going right after this e6 pawn. It's undefended, it comes with check, and so black has to be really, really careful. And here black makes actually the losing mistake. Black plays queen to b6, and it seems like an okay move because it defends the pawn, but what black had to play here was queen captures on e5, and this wins back a pawn, also defends this pawn, also adds an attacker to the bishop in case the white queen ever moves. And after this, maybe Tal develops a bishop to d3, black brings out the bishop to e7, we have a trade on e7, rook comes to e1, obviously attacking the queen. Here, you can play h5 as black, attacking white's queen. The white queen can retreat to b4 with check, and then Tal's queen blocks. It's protected by the knight, and this is an okay position for both sides. So that was the line that black really should have gone for, but instead, black plays this queen to b6 move, and the problem here is that you allow this next move that Tal is going to play, which is rook to d6. A really nice and really powerful rook lift, getting the rook on the 6th rank. It comes with a tempo, it attacks the queen, and again, if black had just taken the pawn on e5, then this rook lift is not possible because you can just take it back with the queen and no one is the wiser. But instead, the queen shows up on b6, and that happens a lot with Tal, he has a great attack, he's adding a lot of pressure with all of his pieces, and you make a move that has the right idea, but it's just slightly wrong, and he just capitalizes and makes you pay. So anyways, we get this rook to d6, and it's not all in vain for black. Black can capture back with a piece, and does, with bishop takes on d6, and it looks like white has just given up the exchange, and I think all of us would unthinkingly just take back with the pawn on d6, but Tal is not all of us, and instead he plays queen to e6 check. And this is a beautiful move because it makes you see the idea behind this rook lift. So the rook lift was not really to sacrifice the exchange and get a pawn in a threatening position. The whole purpose of this rook lift was to block the queen's protection of the e6 pawn. So now the bishop is in the way of the queen, and this e6 pawn is undefended, and you get this queen to e6 check, which is obviously super, super dangerous for black to deal with. So just a really great combination of moves here for black. So here, what's my note here to take? Sorry, ignore that. So here black makes, I think, the only move, the only non-silly move. You can block with the bishop, but then you just get checkmate. You could also take the queen, but checkmate is better. So black makes the only non-silly move, which is king to f8. But now comes the real awesome Tal move that just makes this a legendary game worth remembering. So see if you can find the winning move recommended by both Tal and the engine in this case, and win the game here with the white pieces. Okay, hopefully you found a way to sacrifice another piece. So a lot of moves look good here. I mean, I think, I'm not even going to say, like, this knight to d5 move looks good, but then I guess the bishop takes. The pawn takes, the bishop looks good as well. But I won't give my thoughts, because why would we listen to me when we could just see what Tal did, which was bishop to g4. Awesome move. The threat is clear. Whenever you make a crazy move like this, there has to be a threat. So for example, if black does nothing, if black, I don't know, tries to like move the knight, then you're just going to get checkmate on f7 because the bishop is protecting the queen. So there is clearly a threat here. However, it looks like you don't achieve anything because pawn just takes the bishop, and that's exactly what black plays. But again, the whole idea in this game is obstruction with bishops. And before we saw that the rook was sacked on d6 to create an obstruction from the black queen from protecting the e6 square, and now we see that this light squared bishop is preventing Tal's other rook from getting into the game, so he removes the obstruction of that bishop, a nice clearance sacrifice where he just completely gives up a bishop to the pawn, and then you get this rook to f1 check, and this is basically game over. So the rook is joining forces with the queen and the bishop, and the king is not going to be able to escape. Here I think the only move is to block with, the only move is to block with the knight. You get another rook lift, rook to f6 check. Black can take with the pawn here, but then just get bishop to h6, and this is game over. This is checkmate. So just and this is checkmate because the queen is covering these squares and the bishop is slicing this way. So these two pieces are working totally in tandem to deliver checkmate. So just an awesome game, an awesome attack. We saw Tal give up a rook, a bishop, and another rook in delivering checkmate to the hapless king, and just an awesome attacking combination. And black actually had a fighting chance for a while, but when you're playing Tal, it's really difficult to maintain that fighting chance and not blunder and just totally lose the game. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you next time.